This video shows how to attach a pole and assemble physically the HolidayCoro Pixel Star product number 123. Now this comes in several different versions, a 19, 24, 36, and some other sizes that are custom. This is not about the installation of the pixels. This is about actually attaching it to your pole. So let's first talk about how you would typically build a star on top of a Megatree. Now each installation may be different. Your installation may vary. Now it is very common for 1/2-inch black pipe. So this is just a pipe you would get in the plumbing section. It has a threaded bottom. And in this particular case, we have a floor flange. Now often this floor flange will be stacked on top of the topper, and then another floor flange will go down to support your tree. Again, your particular design may differ. You may have adapters that adapt it into different sizes. It also may be 3/4 inch. It just depends on what your setup is. So we're going to assume that you're going to be using a 1/2-inch black pipe here. And in your package will be several parts. They're labeled A and B, along with clamps. This all included with your product, including the stainless steel clamps. So first is you're going to determine the top of your star. Now in this particular case, it's up here. We have the bottom down here. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide our supports through the front. So this label side is going to be my back side. So I'm just going to slide those through. You can see that they'll latch in here, and that keeps them from pulling through. So we're going to put both of those in here. They don't have a top or bottom orientation. They are reversible, so if you flip them around, they will work both ways. Now, you're going to see that there are a couple of different slots in here, depending upon your particular pipe and your circumstance. There's also some zip tie holes in here for other alternative solutions. All right, now what you're going to also do is take your spacers here, and this is going to go between them. And you can see that these actually are keyed, so they have a top and a bottom. And we're going to put those through here. Now, you'll notice that these align with these holes down here. So we're going to use some zip ties to attach those. And in this particular case, I'm going to use some black zip ties. So we're going to just, again, orient them so that the slots are down at the bottom and put them in between here. And so that creates the right gap there. That puts the pole away from the back so that you have space for your pixels. Now, when you look down through there, you should be able to have your clamp that'll go through here and your zip tie. So I'm just simply going to slide my zip tie through here. You can see it easily comes out the other side. And then I'm just going to run it back through the other side. And I'm then going to run it through here. Like that. And then we'll do this again for the second one here. Run that back through again and tie that off. Of course, you're going to cut off these extra parts right here when you're done. Okay, now that creates a nice secure piece so that the face here is fully attached to here, and of course we have our spacing. Now we have a nice slot for our pipe to attach to. All right, so this is where our band clamps come in. So we're going to take our band clamps. Now they come pre-shipped already with the clamp in. And to get them through, we do need to unscrew them so that the feed side comes out. So there we go, just like that. And now, again, your pipe might be different. This is normally designed for 1/2-inch, and you can see 1/2-inch sticks just right in there. It will expand out to 3/4 inch. If you have EMT and some other options, that will also work. Now, what's going to happen here is, of course, we have various different heights. Now, you may need to use a section above or below. In this particular case, we are going to clamp the pipe through the bottom and then come out the top and then back around again. So let me go ahead and push that through. Oops. So I'm just going to make this a little easier, I'm just going to pull out a little bit of this so it's a little straighter and not as round. Okay, so we're just going to slide that through, and of course you can see that comes through the other side. And then we're going to fish that through this side here. Now, I've made a mistake here. You can see that I've got the screw portion going the wrong direction. So we do need to have that going so that it's accessible from the top side. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to slide this through here. Put that through there. Put that around there. And we have now made us a complete thing here. And just going to get that started. So these clamps, you may need to bend this back a little bit to get it going, because now you're back in kind of a circle fashion here. Just get that started, and then you'll see once it catches, it'll easily go through that. So I'm going to push that down. So now you can see we've got that through there. There's where our pipe's going to be mounted in there. And I'm just going to screw this in here to take out some of the additional slack. And you can see the slack coming out the top right here where my screw terminal is. Okay. Okay, now when you'll actually attach this is going to depend upon your particular build. You may choose to, in many cases, not attach this yet if you're using a screw type arrangement. So what you can do is you can build this on the ground, run your pipe through. Oops, I've actually tightened it a little too tight already. You can also use a impact, don't over tighten it of course. Okay, let's slide that through. You may want to go ahead and use and mount this preemptively and then just take it to the top of the tree. If you're building your tree on the ground, you may attach it all at once. This also allows you to easily disconnect it so that when you're storing it, it can be all separate, but leave the pole attached to the star itself. Okay, so now the height of the tree to the height of the star will vary. So you want to take into consideration where this will terminate and how far above. So if you've got a topper and your topper has to come, let's say, way out here and it's very large, let's say on a 36-inch star, you may need to push this back down to make sure that you have sufficient clearance to go all the way across for your topper. You also may just prefer your star to be way above your tree or very close to the top of the topper. So take that into consideration when you're attaching that. Okay, and so once you've got it into the right place, you simply just, again, tighten down these clamps. Okay, so you'll then do the exact same thing with the other side. So there's two clamps, so you'll put a second one through here, and then that will secure the star to your pole. So at this point, you don't need to cut this off in normal cases, and then just take this off over here. At this point, you are all set. Now, I would recommend you do put your pixels in prior to building the actual star with the supports, so do this as your last step. Again, also keep in mind your orientation so that, remember, this is going to be, in this particular case, the bottom of the star, and you're probably wanting your point to be at the top. So if that means you would need to make sure that your threaded connection that goes maybe into the tree is at the bottom. So think through all that when you're building it, and have a great season.